Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back with another series review. I just recently watched another breathtaking, absolutely phenomenal episode of Broadchurch, and I still don't like Susan. I don't know what it is about her, but she's very unsettling, and her character is very disquieting, and the whole time I was literally, I usually don't talk to my television. I know a lot of people probably think I'm crazy, but usually I don't say anything when I'm watching television. I do when I watch Doctor Who. I have when I've watched Sherlock, and Downton Abbey too. But I hardly ever get upset when I'm watching a television program. But when Tom, the younger brother, was going in with Sue after he had walked her dog, I think that was a ploy to get him to go inside of her mobile home, which I thought, oh, she's planting evidence on him, and he's too innocent to understand that. And of course, I don't know why Tom said what he did. You know, my mom is a police investigator. I thought, why are you telling her that? Stop! But he's a child. I mean, he's completely naive and oblivious, and he doesn't know what's going on in Broadchurch. And of course, we know the pedophile didn't do it. He's given a proper burial and put to rest, as he should have been, and they celebrated his life as a good person. And I really don't think that he was entirely bad. I think that it kind of shed some light in the episode prior that he had left behind that old life and he had turned over a new leaf. And I don't know, he just didn't seem like he was evil or that he had malintentions. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but his character's his character was off a little bit too soon for me to actually make any deductions about him. So he's no longer a suspect, and of course Alec thinks that the vicar is the one who might have something to do with Davee's death, and for good reason, because he finds circumstantial evidence in the scene, and it was close to the preacher's personal effects, and he's starting to think the worst, and he starts making accusations. And of course, the scene that they have before this show actually began airing here, they had a trailer with Alec and the vicar, and of course the vicar says something that's very, very cutting. I think he says, I try to give the people hope, and that's what you could never do. And I thought, ooh, that's harsh. Oh snap! But it was just a bit brash and maybe a little bit uncalled for. I thought, you're supposed to be a Christian man. You're not supposed to be making these sorts of statements. And this man, Alec, he's just doing the best that he can to the utmost of his ability, and he's getting all the help he can, and given what little he has to go on, I think he's doing a pretty darn good job. And this episode actually brought forward more of his his panic attacks, which I think are really interesting and makes him more approachable and more human and more vulnerable. He actually has a nightmare concerning Davee's death, and I really like that scene. He said he sees the vicar and he sees some other characters that are standing too close to the edge of the shore of Broadchurch. He says, "Get away from the water! Get away from the water! Get away from the water!" And he wakes up, "Get away from the water!" And it's just, he's flailing, and then he says, he has to collect himself, and then he takes his pills. I'm not sure what kind of medication he's on, but he's certainly disturbed, and this case has taxed him, and you just feel for the guy. I mean, if I can have a little confessional here, um, panic attacks are no fun. They are horrible in any and all cases, and they are very nefarious, and they're relentless. And when one comes upon you, you're not sure when it will, but I really don't have any triggers, so to say. They come without warning, and I'm not on any medication, nor do I wish to be on any medication, because I just don't believe in that. And medication often makes the problem worse. I should know, because I was put on Zoloft when I was 21, and they diagnosed me with clinical depression. Never again. No. But having dealt with panic attacks and knowing how to handle them, and thank God they don't come around very often. It's only very rarely that I'll have one that'll come up and hit me when I least expect it. But it seems like Alex's character has them a lot, and you think, what? What's going on? And he actually has one at the very last part of the series. I mean, of this episode, and I personally really thought that this was one of the best episodes ever done. And the daughter, I just wanted to slap the daughter. Well, not the daughter, but the son. I just wanted to slap the son. I thought, what kind of ingrate are you? You don't even know what you're saying. You're just angry. You don't like anybody, and you don't like anything. You're just spoiled. And I just wanted to shake him. I don't know why. I just thought, oh, how could you say something so brutal and so cruel about your own brother? Ugh, terrible. But maybe he had a reason to say that. I don't know. Maybe it was just because he's still angry. But the mother, again, Beth was brought forth with her friend, and how she copes, and she's just trying to numb the pain away, and mainly with sleeping pills, because she can't sleep at night. She's consumed with guilt, and it's just really sad. But this series is really taking quite a portion of my life, and I'm really loving it, and I'm looking forward to how the characters evolve, and whether or not they're going to have a civil ceremony, but an official ceremony, a burial for Davee, because I think that'll bring a sense of closure. Maybe it'll bring a sense of closure to them, but they're really not going to get closure until they find out who the killer was. That's going to be the tipping point, I think, the one climactic moment. But we still can't figure out what's going on here. You know, I didn't really feel sorry for Susie, but that one guy didn't have to do what he did to the dog, but according to next episode, the dog lives through getting shot with a bow and arrow. Someone call ASPCA! But, yeah, Humane Society, I got a problem for you. There's this psychotic individual out on the loose who shot my dog with a bow and arrow. Get on that, will you? But that was one thing that kind of made my stomach turn. But in the next episode, the dog lives, thank God. But it just makes you wonder what kind of sick, twisted person that man. I have suspicions about him too. I don't like Susan. I do not like her. I don't know what it is about her. But, you know, she seems all nice and sweet and very inviting. But it's just something that's not entirely right about her character as a whole. And I think Tom, the director, what not the police woman's son, I think that he knows this, and he kind of has a feeling that maybe I shouldn't trust this woman too terribly much. dog or not. I mean, just because somebody owns a dog, it doesn't make them a good person necessarily. Although, you know, according to popular belief, people who own dogs are usually very outgoing and generous and kind and etc. I mean, psychologically speaking, if you love an animal, usually you're a good person. But in this case, it's kind of the opposite. And in her case, I just don't feel that she's a very trustworthy character at all. And I don't know if any of you out there feel the same way that I do about Sue, but I just do not care for her one bit. She just gives me the creeps. Woo! Yeah, I get the cold shivers every time I see her character on the screen. And I don't want to point fingers, but why would she plant evidence? I mean, there's got to be a motive behind that, and she just, yeah, she got her comeuppance with that, and she should have known better. You can't take advantage of an innocent child. That's just despicable. But that was really quite intriguing, and this is a very good psychological uh, thriller series of suspense, and I still have no clue. I really have absolutely zero idea about who could have possibly committed the murder. I want to say it's Sue, but I know that I'm pointing fingers just because I don't like her character and I'm letting my bias rule me, and I just don't think so. I don't think that the vicar would do it, but then again, there was all that evidence that kind of leads you to believe that perhaps he's not the good and kind and uh, magnanimous, gregarious individual that he is. Then what he said to Alec kind of makes you question him, and then you're left again, you're kind of thinking, why are they giving us all these red herrings? And it's really tantalizing, but that's why I like the series, so I can't wait until the next one comes, and we shall see what happens then.